That's pretty fucking sick, right?
That's not Miley, is it?
It is. It is.
That's Miley Cyrus.
Live.
Wow.
Live. So this is Day in a Life, his song the Beatles never did live because it has some like 32 or 34 instruments. You know, of course, now with modern technology, you can recreate some of it or most of those instruments. In this case, I don't know what they did. This is live. But it's
Wow.
obscene. It's fucking obscene. I just stumbled across this 5 minutes ago
That's pretty amazing.
for the first time.
Wow.
I feel like I just discovered some sort of, some sort of something.
And you know that's a shame because she doesn't. She's kind of a punchline. People don't take her seriously.
I do. I do. She has kind of turned herself into a bit of a clown show with her antics, but as an artist, holy shit, she's off the charts. It's tough to be a kid artist. How are you not going to be fucked up along the way?
Yeah, I would think. I guess.
All right, so now we have to redo. We have our special guest coming in. This is actually kind of a bit of history. This show isn't just about fighting and midget wrestling and bare knuckle brawling and arguing about politics and drinking.
My dog dying.
Talking about your dead dog.
My father killing James
Dean. And killing James Dean.
Yeah.
Talking about getting hookers pregnant, abortions, and all things such. This show is about history, right? This show's about history. And we have a person in history that most people don't even know exists. So this is going to be educational for everybody. It was very educational for me. And I'm honored. I heard that she wants to recreate and have a brand new theme song that she's written for the Washington Commanders.
Wow.
Yeah, brand new name of our beloved franchise. Let's see how this goes because
she is hot.
Dude, super fucking hot. She was a major star in silent film. So we'll get into this afterwards. So let's kind of pay a little bit of homage to Corinne Griffith, the magical, beautiful, sexy Corinne Griffith.
Hello, darling. I've been watching the franchise closely and wanted to contribute to the new name with a nice new song.
Did you dislike Indians when you wrote the original song?
Oh, I disliked Indians when I wrote that original tribute in the same way Elvis disliked blue suede shoes, or the Indians themselves dislike whiskey.
Not at all, then. So what did you change about the song? What would you change about the name?
Replacing the redskin. Well, redskin was the highest honor. The mascot, it's a symbol of reverence. And they replaced it with the name Commander. I don't know if you know, but the name Commander comes from white French people who conquered Indians for hundreds of years.
Fucking white people.
Which makes about as much sense as wiping your ass with a porcupine.
Wow. So you are from Texas. Good point on the French. They killed so many Indians over hundreds of years, over 3 continents.
Sure does, darling. I see all this lip service to white supremacists around your way, and they go and erase a beautiful Indian, strong Indian man for a group of people whiter than you'll find at a BLM rally.
She really does see everything, Jimmy. So what do you think about the name Commander?
Oh, I don't think much of the name Commander myself. I'll tell you how or why when we break the word apart.
Okay.
If you break it apart, it says command her. So back in the day, women would orgasm and men would come.
True.
So the first part says literally you're coming, and the second part says you're coming on man hers.
Oh.
I know from watching y'all that man are growing faster than Joe Biden's dementia is settling in.
Yep.
But man hers being cummed on doesn't sit right with me.
What the fuck are you talking
That's
about?
That's interesting point. Commanders are not only imperialistic and racist, but also anti-trans. That's what you're saying.
That's exactly right. You can't be coming on man hers. That ain't right. It could also mean command her, with her being a woman, but y'all don't know what a woman is anymore. It's almost like everyone skipped the birth canal and just slid straight out of Goose's ass.
That's so true.
Commander also sounds like a woman named Amanda who happens to be loose and born without much sense. Have you ever heard the term? It's an old term. I don't know if you've heard it, but called cum dumpster.
Yes, that's
Well,
her.
this would be,
Jesus.
cum dumpster with Amanda being in there. So it'd be command her. Hell, like cause she's stupid.
Yeah.
Hell, you could even have our dumb slut Amanda breed with that Toad Dan Snyder. Have you a match made in heaven. Damn Snyder and Commander. They're dumb white kid, creepy baby. Might be stupid enough to even root for this new franchise.
Strong take. I'm so excited for the song now.
Oh, I hope Redskins fans like it. The one Commander fan out there might not like it, but his slave will love it.
His slave?
Did I say his slave? Oh, I'm so sorry, darling. Maybe a man, her who has a slave. I hope I didn't offend any sissies from inside the Beltway. I don't want them getting their panties in a wad and taking out their sexual frustrations on poor innocent children.
There are some baby sniffers inside the Beltway.
Yes.
Ready to sing?
And just so we're all on the same page, this song sucks more than a Kamala Harris person moving up corporate ladder.
Wow, that's a lot of sucking. Let's roll. Let me know
when you're ready, darling.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hail to commanders, hail you pussies.
Whoa.
Redskins
canceled to pander
for white supremacy. Pay money to score, we turn cheerleaders into whores. Beat 'em, bang 'em, we can always recruit more. Bang one for fun, you pay for Huns, cucks.
Creeps of Washington, blah, blah, ha. Hail, commanders, hail, you pussies. Skins canceled to pander for white supremacy.
God bless you. You're an
Thank
angel.
you so much and have a great day.
You too, Angel. Wow, we learned so much on that particular call. Jimmy.
I'm not really proud of most of our guests that we have.
Yeah.
But I really don't want to be associated with that.
Didn't you work for this wonderful organization?
She was charming at the outset, but things spiraled.
She gets a little she gets going. So in
Was
real
she
life,
drinking or something? Or
she was sniffing glue. So in real life, the story is crazy. So she was married to the original Redskins owner. She actually did the original song. So the original song you and I grew up with is not the original song. You know that they pussified the original song, right?
what's
You
the
know this?
original?
So the original is almost the same words. Hail to the Redskins, hail victory, Braves on the warpath, fight for old Dixie. Not old.
Ah,
Okay, scalp them, swamp them, we will take them, big score. Read them, weep them, touchdown, we want heaps more. Fight on till you have won, Sons of Washington. So they actually took out Dixie because DC's on the Mason-Dixon line. It was a
wow.
so they actually politically corrected this song twice. Well, before. You know, we actually unpolitically corrected the song a few moments ago. But yes, so the original version, so the crazy part, so this lady, she was married to the Redskins owner. She was, obviously beautiful. They got divorced. She got remarried to a guy and they went to the courts for their divorce because she was married like 5 times, which back in the day, that never happened. She was worth $150 million back in the day. So she's fucking loaded. And in court, she had to pay this guy $150 like a month, which,
Yeah.
50 million, nothing. So she was a twin. Her twin sister comes out in the court and says that she's not her, that the sisters assumed her, that the original woman died before Corrine died, before a big movie that she was going to do, a big silent movie.
Yeah.
And that her sister assumed her identity to protect the studio, so that Corinne Griffith has been dead for many years and doesn't even exist, was the legal argument given in court for the person who wrote the original. So
Wow.
whether true that she's got a burial date and that the sister of the studio needed a substitute and she was the substitute, so she assumed Corinne's identity, married the Redskins person, and went through the iterations, so that there was no Corinne as a defendant for the actual divorce. Fucking insane. So a little bit of history here on Beers and Brawlers. I hope you guys learned a lot from that. She was from Texas. I actually, learned a lot about Texas accents during that iteration as well. So, and there we have it, and henceforth and therefore. So tell me, we'll dive. It's a great transition right into the NFL world. Let's dump into our little quick bullshit NFL preview, man.
Talk to me, baby. What's going on?
All right, so let's look into the East, NFC East. We both know it well. We've got the Philadelphia Eagles, we've got the Dallas Cowboys, we've got the New York Giants, and we've got the Washington Redskins. We've got the Washington Redskins. I refuse to say the name. I don't talk about racist, transphobic names like Commander.
The command hers.
The command her man hers.
No, the
command hers and the
commanding
hers. So in actuality, do you know the term commander is a French word? It's from commandier, and it was from the 14th century, 15th century. So that the French coined the term, and the French dominated indigenous people on 3 continents over the next couple hundred years, for real.
Yeah.
So they actually chose a term from white people that enslaved and raped, pillaged, and killed indigenous people to replace the indigenous person on the helmet as their thing. Now, it becomes even better when you look into the history of the word commander, because you know how they've been toppling over Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson.
Yep.
So commander-in-chief was, the original Stonewall Jackson. That's where the commander-in-chief came from in the U.S.
That's where it originated.
And in the U.S., and General Lee was the commander of the South. So it is, is everything racist?
I got. When are we playing it now?
Everything racist. Commander's racist. Super fucking racist.
You didn't look. Did you look?
So great.
Did you look?
Well, yes, and I'll tell you why.
Get the generator.
No, I did. I already looked. I preempted you being able to say that this was going to be your winning thing by adding this automatically. So this will be the first submission as the Commanders being racist. I'm going to name the title of this YouTube clip, Commanders Are Racist, just so we cover the base of this particular. No, actually, Commander is, it is. Yeah, it's been covered, or else I wouldn't know all this shit about, the racist history.
Okay, wouldn't that be great to be the first one? And then
It really would. It'd be, like discovering a new element, nerd shit. So let's go. What do you know about the NFC East so far? Have you been following any of this shit?
Fucking, I know the teams and I know a little bit of the gossip.
Do you know who the Redskins have as their quarterback, right? They took Carson Wentz from the Philadelphia Eagles via the Indianapolis Colts to run an anemic offense led by Terry McLaurin, who's actually pretty damn good receiver.
Terry McCall,
but McCall from Ohio State University. Damn good receiver, but he needs somebody else.
It's typical fucking Washington Redskins. This is white noise, but that's what we had back then. We had we didn't know when we had the stars, we had the backup players, the base of it. You know what I mean? We have a star here, a star there with no support whatsoever. So they end up failing.
Well, no identity. So you can go a long way as a team if you have an identity, and that identity is power football. Like if you have a fantastic offensive line and you don't have stars all over the place, you just have like one wide receiver and a couple decents.
Yep.
You can do it, but the Washington Redskins don't operate that like that. And the Commanders,
guys like the Ravens, their defense was their go-to. Everything was defense. They were killers on defense. They were winning games 6-0. You know, then they went all the way and won the Super Bowl
with a quarterback that nobody would ever think. Trent Dilfer.
Yeah, well, it was Dilfer, I believe.
Yeah, Dilfer out there, quarterback. I mean,
and then
strong running game. Dilfer not making mistakes.
They did the same thing with the fucking bozo Flacco. You know, he's not a Super Bowl quarterback.
No,
he's
not.
It's like they willed themselves to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Redskins don't have that. They don't have that swagger.
Well, this year I think the Eagles are probably favored. They are favored to win the division. The Giants, they have Saquon Barkley coming back healthy, which is big because that boy good. He can play some football.
We'll see.
But he has not been healthy for a while.
That's why I say we'll see if he's really healthy. They say he's healthy, but
you've been around players like this, man. You see them limping through the hallways and shit. They're beat up.
They're by no means healthy. They just mean game ready. Can they put them in the game?
What did you see of the Redskins when they said people are healthy? Do they really mean that, or is it just a bullshit? Like people are fucked up, aren't they? Players are actually beat to shit.
It's like saying I'm fine.
It's in boxing, you mean? Like I'm fine?
No, anywhere. Hey, honey, how you doing? I'm fine. You know, they're not fucking healthy. I feel like I'm in a hospital. When I go through there, the guys are, limping around. They're wrapped up, and they spend all the time in the trainer's office just to get on the field, to get through the practice, and sometimes don't even practice. They just go to the game. So it's terrible.
Describe it, because you've been around boxers too. It's not like that with boxers, right? You don't see them limping. You just see them retarded. They just can't fucking.
No, it's not like that. Boxing with injuries it's not even in the same universe as football. All right, because boxers, they're the only, they're the whole show. They get a little nick or something, a little cut or hurt their knuckle or something, they're out. The fight's off and they recover. They don't fight. I mean, nobody goes into a fight 100%, but they're as close. They're pretty close usually. Football players are beat to shit. I mean, they could hardly walk the day before the game. They shoot them up to get them on the field to perform, and I mean that's why careers are so short.
Yeah, man. What do you think? I mean, you've seen it in all sports. You've seen it in football and athletes. You made a post the other day about athletes at what 50, right?
A 50-year-old athlete is the lionest motherfucker in the world.
True. Well, but why did you say that?
That's because it's just human nature that stories get better. And your legend grows. I hear about shit that I know I didn't do, but I'm a legend for it.
Yeah, it's funny, man. I'm not even a professional athlete, and some of the greatest stories about some of my antics, I'm like, yeah, I didn't do that at all.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I saw you do it, and I'm like, yeah.
And they're not, and they are. I mean, they are serious. They fucking saw it.
Well, give me the best one about you, like, because I guarantee it's much more amplified with a professional athlete than a guy you drank with, or did.
You remember? Put it together, but Like I went.
Nothing comes to mind.
I used, sometimes I would spar 2, 3, 4 guys. I mean, very normal for you.
Yeah.
You know, when you're a 10, 12 round fighter, you know, they mix the guys up. But I heard that I fucking not only sparred, but sparred until the person quit. 10 guys one day.
That's that dude. You should just own it and be like, yeah.
Oh, I do. I say, man, those days, those were some good days, weren't they? And they'll talk about, you know, me coming in the gym and being the only white boy in there that could even walk in. Well,
I guarantee that's pretty close to true. I mean, pretty close. I bet you there were a couple, but not many.
I mean,
not many.
Well, maybe I was too
dumb.
Come
on, not many. Say it. Not many.
Maybe I was too dumb to realize it. Now, not many white guys even tried to come in, okay, because of all the, you know, whatever boogeyman they're afraid of.
Dude, it's an inner city sport. It's a mostly black inner city, poor, angry motherfucker sport.
Yeah, but
you gotta have some fucking balls just to walk in.
And there's no
in to fight.
But I'm telling you, the racism, you know, black on white, it's just so irrelevant. I mean, if you are white and you can fight, you belong. And
exactly.
They treat you like that. I mean, they may call you white boy, but what the fuck? You're white.
Yeah. This is something, I mean.
And trust me, calling me a white boy is not an insult. You know what I mean? It's not meant as an insult from them.
Is there any racial or ethnic insult that you've heard in a gym or otherwise that's ever hurt you to your core? Like a red cracker, white boy, white trash.
Yeah, I was
cousin banger. Yeah,
I was fighting in Rockville, and I fucking forget it. I think I was fighting a guy named Carlos Diaz, who.
I've got a very good friend named Carlos Diaz. They're
not the same guy.
They're all named Carlos Diaz.
But he looks.
Love him though.
He looks like just a plain white guy. All right. So I'm fighting this guy, and we were kind of just jabbing and moving around, and the crowd was absolutely silent. And you hear from the back, "Oh, motherfucker, I didn't come here to see the Backstreet Boys."
So being compared to a boy band hurt your feelings?
And the fucking whole place funny. Erupted with laughter, and like we had to even admit that's fucking funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're like laughing during the fight about that insult. It was pretty funny.
Dude, that is so the only thing that's ever rankled you made you laugh.
Oh no, it made me laugh. I love it. No, I mean I get.
But the reason I say that, and so you know, I had a friend in high school. You and I both know lots of guys like this, but they may have a hot spot with their sister having big tits, or you know, somebody has a hot spot. As soon as somebody knows you have a hot spot, you know, they go in on that hot spot. That's what people do. They find the weak. It's animal kingdom. Well, I'm going to solve all the black community's problems here tonight because, you know, they have a hot spot with a word. They call it their word. I hate the word. You and I both hate the word. But the reason that word still has power is because black people give that word power. Now, mind you, it's a very flexible word, but it should not be. So in the Hispanic community, you can throw out as many ethnic, racial things as you want. They don't give a shit as long as you don't call them Latinx. Don't call your Hispanic friend a Latinx. That'll piss them off. You can say anything else, wetback, grease, you know, anything. Grease, your Italian friend, you Goomba, you Italian, you know, whatever you want. It doesn't matter. White people, cracker, doesn't matter. Black people have given power to other people by trying to protect the N-word in a way that makes it just like having a sister with big tits. It just like because now all of a sudden, yes,
sense.
you can get in trouble. Yes, you could get punched if you say that person's sister has big tits,
Yeah, that guy's a cool guy, but just don't say nothing about his sister's tits.
which makes everybody want to say
Right,
something
you
about
gotta
their
say
sister's
something
big
about their
tits.
sister's tits.
You got it. I mean, I've got a German, Irish, French, Dutch, Welsh, African roots way back then, born in Venezuela. Don't give a fuck what ethnic shit you say about me. That gives you no power over me. I find it funny. And I would like to tell all of our listeners to be able to say as much racially insensitive stuff about me as you possibly can, including calling me fat. I don't give a fuck. That's the joy of life, and that's political incorrectness. It goes back to that Washington Redskins thing. You know what I mean? This goes all in one loop, all tied together. The whole goal here is to just be able to open up and make fun of each other in a way that shows love. Because, you sent me the sweetest text ever the other day. It was my favorite text I got from you. You sent me a text that said, "Go fuck yourself." I was so proud of you. I was like, this is fantastic. This is the text that means I love you without you saying it. If your mother's a whore, whatever, anything like that, that's how I communicate. I was like, this is a great fucking text. But that is the way the world kind of goes around. If you start defending these barriers of words, barriers, it becomes an issue.
Somebody, a large enough group of people did not like the casual male, what they call toxicity of, hey, go fuck yourself, Beans, being a friendly gesture.
It's fantastic. It's like the sweetest thing.
And so now, it's under fire, and people aren't doing it as much. I mean, I see guys that I know are putting on a, hey, I better mind my manners. I better not, they just put themselves on a leash.
I love to fight. I mean it in a good way. Like, I like verbal sparring. You saw it with a fight the other day, the boxing match. I just like to talk shit. A lot of it I don't even mean. I actually agreed with you. We don't know what that ref saw. We don't know what that ref saw. It looked like a bad stoppage, but we really did. But we don't know. He might have seen him cross-eyed and shit. We don't know. We weren't there.
And sometimes I fucking wonder if you're just fucking with me and you really do agree with me, because it fucking pissed me off so bad.
Well, I was
this fucking close to like making fun of your kids or something.
You should have. Yeah, I mean, well, kids, go ahead, fuck them. But still, yeah, I actually 100% understand. We aren't staring at that fighter's eyes. Which fight are we talking about? Because I was pretty drunk. It was the undercard on the.
I didn't know there was fights last week.
Yeah, it was the undercard on the. It was the undercard on what was the fight that you studied last week that we both watched. I don't remember.
I've already studied another one, so I forgot.
It's already gone. Actually, the undercards were really good, and that fight the main fight kind of sucked.
I remember. We're talking about Danny Garcia. So it was the co-main event to that. What was it? Fuck.
Yeah, it was the Danny Garcia. No, we were watching the. So it was two co-main events before, because the heavyweights went at it after that.
Oh shit! Those guys are fucking killers. I love that fight.
They were dropping big bombs.
That was as good a fight as you'll see anywhere.
That card was amazing, not because of the main event.
Gary Russell
and Garcia. Yeah. Gary Russell won.
He won. He won by TKO.
And he was the better fighter throughout the fight. Let's be honest.
I think it was a bad call, but that's not in stone, because you just don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. And again, I talk so much shit about like pussy this, you're pussy. But realistically, in combat sports, your job as a referee is to protect the fighter.
Right.
And only you are looking in that fighter's eyes, and you're trained to see, pupils, and you're trained to see what they see. It looked bad across the board to the fans because he was immediately coherent and everything else. And it's very easy to sit here and say, what a pussy thing, but you don't know what he saw. You don't know what he saw.
Talk about the fans. I'm a Gary Russell fan, and that helped Gary Russell. A win is a win.
Do you have a Gary Russell shirt?
I have a Gary Russell hat.
Do you have a Gary Russell tattoo?
I wear it on Wednesdays.
You should have your brother do a shitty Gary Russell tattoo. Show your fandom. Show how much you love Gary Russell. Your brother would do it in 5 minutes.
Spell his name wrong.
Gerry.
If I'm a Gary Russell fan who wants
Gary's
to see,
kids Russell.
well, he's got like 8 brothers named Gary too.
Are you fucking serious?
It may not be 8, but everybody in the family is named Gary.
So
Russell.
he's just like Foreman. He's like Foreman with his kids. Didn't George? How many kids does George have? Like a shitload, and they're all named George, including the girls.
Hey, these guys are. I highly respect these guys. I highly respect these guys. So
Which
if I'm
guys?
saying the Russells, the Russell family.
No, you were serious.
I'm fucking dead serious. I highly respect them. So,
Okay. Do you know them personally?
Yeah. The old man just passed away. I mean,
Do they have like a cousin or something you could date? Like a nice little fine what? What? I'm dead serious. This is the type of energy you need. I bet they have a hot black girl in there, dude. Have you ever dated a black
girl? Fuck with me for, man. I'm trying to make a fucking point. Gary Russell is a fine name in boxing.
Okay.
And I do believe that several of the brothers are named Gary. And there's one that's named.
That was not your point.
But there's actually one of the brothers' first name is Gary.
Do they have any hot girls named Gary?
One of the brothers named. I'm dead serious.
This is my friend Jimmy.
Will you fucking listen? So I believe that one of the brothers' name is that is Gary, but his last name is Jones.
Okay.
So they all have the common denominator of Gary. And that motherfucker was fast because that's the guy that I had to deal with.
So this is, by the way, our NFL preview. So let's get back to the Philadelphia Eagles. And if any of the Garys out there has a cousin that's looking for a nice white man.
Gary Russell actually has a cousin that lives in Philly.
Please let your cousin know that.
Let's talk Philly.
Please. Oh, God. Poor fucking Philly. That's a hard city, man. Please let your cousin know that Jimmy was once mistaken for a Backstreet Boys person. Wow. While actually boxing. I guarantee that's going to be your best pickup line. Yeah, Philly's a tough city, dude. My whole family's from Philly. That's rough and tumble up there. You aren't going to find many pretty women up there, but the ones you do find, they're fucking hardcore. They're listening to this when they wake up as their alarm. They'll wake up and be like, bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Well, good morning to you. Do you like your eggs sunny side up? Well, bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. All right, so Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Eagles have added A.J. Brown from the Tennessee Titans. Do you know anything about football or no?
The Titans. Fuck no. We were supposed to do – I knew last Wednesday when we were supposed to do our preview, and then we didn't do it. So
no, but in general, do you watch football all year long? Like, are you like somebody that's glued?
Yes.
So you know who A.J. Brown from the Titans are. Number 11, beast coming out. I mean, so the Eagles added him. They added a couple other people that you probably don't give a shit about, but that's a big. So the Eagles are now loaded with offensive talent. Their defense was pretty good. So they're now a heavy favorite to win the NFC East.
Okay, so who's throwing for them?
Well, the same cat that was throwing for him last year, Jalen Hurts. He's athletic. He's good. He's actually young, from Oklahoma, and he's proved himself to be a pretty dynamic quarterback in the NFL.
Do you have a schedule?
I mean, you could find one online. I'm not gonna look into that right now. Everybody has a schedule. Why do you ask?
No, I want to see when they play the Redskins.
Well, we could find that out after, but it's not the Redskins, you culturally insensitive prick. You need to go towards the racial
Rewind it. You started this show. You started the show announcing that you will not abide by the new name Commanders.
I won't. I hope the Redskins win every game, and I hope the Commanders lose every single fucking game that's ever existed until they get rid of Dan Snyder and until somebody comes in and changes the name back. So just as a quick reason to why, so people don't like this political correct horse shit. The Cleveland Indians changed their name. Did you know this?
The Guardians.
They're now the Guardians. Their TV, and baseball's mostly a TV sport. Like, they get some people live, but mostly TV. Their TV ratings are down 30%. Everyone lost their attachment to the franchise. Yep. In Washington, it's going to be worse. And the reason it's going to be worse is you and I grow up in Washington. It's a transient city. There's a very few people that live in Washington that grew up there. And if they are, they're almost all black. Right. Everybody outside of the city, in the city, black people may have grown up there. Those are the real root of DC. Outside of the city in Maryland, you'll find very few people that have been there for 20 plus years. In Virginia, you'll find a little bit more, but not that many. It's a very transient city. The heart and soul of that city runs by what administration comes in and comes out, and people come in internationally or not. It's not a loyal fan base. So when they switch out the name, the only loyal people that are there, they're loyal to the Redskins. You're going to see a huge drop off. It's a fucking terrible business decision. It's going to be a disaster. But either way, so let's move on to our favorite team. You're my favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys, I love the Cowboys so much because they always just, as bad as the Redskins are, as bad as our Redskins record is, the Cowboys may be better, but they always find a way to fuck up on a bigger scale. You know what I mean? So, they always find out their expectations are high, which makes their fall every year better. When they went for that, what was it, third and like 16 with the quarterback sneak with like 20 some seconds left and couldn't pull. It was just like they find a way to fuck things up in such a special way that, people from inside the Beltway that are like our people, just, it brings such joy to our hearts, right?
I don't feel that. I feel that they're better than us as an organization still, or now, not still.
Do you think the Cowboys are punching down on the Redskins?
I think so. I think as an organization, I would rather be a Dallas Cowboy than I would whatever the fuck they are now.
Well, I would like to tell you it does feel good because I'm more of a Cowboys fan than this shitty fucking Commanders team, and it feels great to actually punch down on you motherfuckers from up here. Actually, fantasy football's ruined me for all sports, but I've always liked the Cowboys better than the Redskins.
Gambling did that for me with football. I used to love football a lot more and be more into it. And then when all I cared about was the point spread, and I didn't give a shit if my favorite team won or not, or won or lost, as long as the point spread, fucked it up for me. Did
you ever play fantasy football?
No, I'm not. That should be on the "Is this queer?"
Why is it queer to pick. But you're just what? Here's why it's not queer, because unless you have the NFL package, and even if you do, when you draft a fantasy football team, you're drafting a wide receiver, running back, quarterback, whatever. It allows you to watch a wider swath of games with actual interest. So if it's like 42-10 and you have Kyler Murray, and he's down 42-10 in the third quarter, you have a vested interest in that game on Sunday, hoping that he has a shitload of points coming back. He throws a touchdown, you're like, fuck yeah, keep him in the game. Keep him. It just gives you more juice.
I can see that.
So without
being fun,
without putting specific money on the game, it gives you 16 games of gambler juice where you're talking shit to your friends instead of having to deal with a bookie.
There's no gambler juice unless you win something. What do you win?
Well, you put in, whatever it is for a league. Let's say it's $150, right? You got 12 people, and then you got the split. But the juice is you're head to head with one of your people in the 12-team league. So it's one of your friends. So you talk shit all week. You're making trades to beat your friend all week. And then the weekend comes, and now you're watching the fucking Dolphins and the Chiefs like it's the Super Bowl every week so that you can beat your fucking friend that particular week and then call him a bitch. So fantasy football is, without having a lot of money on games, allows you to get that juice.
Okay.
Talk shit to your friends, shit on the people you love, and do it over an extended period of time for a very low wage. You should do shit, dude. We might have an opening this year. You should do a fantasy league with us. It's fun, dude.
I won't keep up. I'll do one with my boys have asked me before. I should do one with. Can you do one with 4 people?
No. So what you can do, you can join a public league. Like there's actually professional leagues out there where you can actually, I'll send you one where, and I do a couple of these where it's people you don't know that put money in. The biggest thing is you just have to keep up with putting your lineup in. And if you're really good, make trades and join. You got to work that waiver wire or else you're going to be fucked. Because it really is, it's skill. There's a lot of skill to it.
That's cool.
But that's not really. So the Eagles are the thing. The Cowboys, the fucking cowgirls. Ezekiel Elliott, who wears a belly shirt better than anybody in the NFL. She is very cute. I mean, if I were in prison,
is he a he she?
If I were in prison, and lonely, I mean, and looking for a thick, woman, Ezekiel Elliott would be the he she for me.
But I've seen that belly shirt. Is he does he go both ways?
I don't know if he does or doesn't, but he dresses. He's got the. Listen, I don't want to hate on somebody who has certain.
Anybody in the NFL openly gay or bi or anything?
Well, Michael Sam was the last one that came out and was applauded by the media. I actually looked into a Michael Sam jersey for my draft the other day to be able to put it up. It's like $40 on eBay. Nobody cares. But they didn't have one my size. It stopped at like XL. But Michael Sam was the biggest open. But dude, gay people. This is the weird part about the whole thing. Gay people are everywhere. The whole thing with the whole gay movement. It's just, what do you like to do behind closed doors? Everybody's into weird shit behind closed doors. You're into realtor porn. And that's not that weird.
I'm into the story. I need a good story.
I need a story. I'm with you.
Believable too.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has their thing, right? Like, and what they do sexually, if they want to jerk off to the left toe or the big toes turn them on, why would that become relevant for your position in society? If I like gangbangs with 7 hot cheerleaders that are all, of different ethnic color, why would that elevate me or not? Why would that become relevant? You
I
know what
hate
I mean?
those.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Yeah, I don't know why anybody would ever want something like that. But if you like anal, whether it's with a girl, basically what this has become is, I like anal. Can I move up the ladder? Well, is it anal with a female or a guy? It's
Speaking of
anal with a
age,
guy. It's anal with a guy. Then all of a sudden
anal,
you get elevated. If it's anal with a girl, you don't get elevated. Like that.
how are
very
the
bizarre.
Giants doing? How do the Giants look this year?
Good transition to anal. The Giants have Tony at wide receiver, who really looked good, except for he had ankle issues last year.
Saquon Barkley.
They have Saquon Bark. They have weapons. They have Tyrod Taylor that they pulled in as their backup to Daniel, who's just really not performed well out of Duke. And I think the Giants are in for another. I think the Redskins and Giants will be battling for the cellar. Yeah. I think that we're looking at the Eagles at the top of the food chain. Now, mind you, a lot of shit can happen. This is all supposition. So the Giants, let me see, the Giants last they've had 5 consecutive losing seasons. They lost Kyle Rudolph. Giants had Kyle Rudolph. I thought this shit. So their offensive line sucks. Their tight end suck. Their quarterback sucks. Giants are going to suck. So it'll be basically the Redskins.
They got the running back coming back.
Yeah, they got a running back and a bunch of shit. Actually, Tyrod Taylor is if they have a defense, Tyrod Taylor's perfect for that team because he doesn't make mistakes. He turns the ball over pretty much less than everybody.
Yeah.
So if he can take the position over from Daniel Jones, which I think he can, he's got a nice deep ball, doesn't make mistakes, can hand the ball off and throw everything down, be efficient. The Giants might be able to, make, kind of that noise to 8-8, something like that. If not, they're going to be down there. I think the Redskins and Giants are both going to be kind of competing for that middle of the road 500 bar.
Hey, whatever happened to Heineke? Just they put him back up?
Yeah, he'll be a backup. I mean, and that's, where he's a really good backup. He's kind of like a poor man Brett Favre out there without the skills. But it's hard to tell, man. Their offensive line did him no favors. When they traded, when they fucked over and traded Trent Williams, who became the best offensive lineman in the NFL. Not that they didn't know that before.
No.
But he's considered to be the number 1 NFL lineman in the NFL.
Yeah, but he didn't become that. He was that. And they pissed him away. But after a year, you were like, is he still that? And then he came back, and yes, he was still that. Yep. He was still fucking that. And they pissed him away. You were there. So talk about their fumble there. Because they had offers. They had 2 first-round draft pick offers for him originally. I don't know Trent. I don't get into the bullshit. I would hear, maybe Jonathan Allen I'd say, hey, did you sign Trent or whatever? They're not going to let him go or whatever. He's like, and he was just as, in the dark as me. I fucking hope not. So.
Good story, Jimmy. Thank you for that.
No, you asked me a fucking question about a guy I don't know. I'm going to say I don't fucking know.
Well, I mean, I talked to this guy. He didn't know, and he didn't know anything. I didn't know anything.
Do you fucking know?
I do know. He's a fucking monster. They gave up 2 first-round picks for the guy. They were offered 2 first-round picks. They gave him up for a second, like a second-round pick after letting him sit out for a year and basically treating him like a bitch. And he was mad over a health issue. He had a legitimate gripe about his career. Dan Snyder is the worst. Dan Snyder and that ownership is just the biggest piece of shit, which is why you should be even more happy with our guest. because that whole organization needs to go down in flames. It's just a
agree.
terrible organization. The people that are there can go find happy homes other places, but the Commanders, fuck that organization. So the NFC East, I think I'm not rooting for anybody in the NFC East because Philadelphia's got too many ugly women. The New York Giants, New Yorkers have disappointed me more than anybody in the world.
My kid likes the Giants for some fucking reason. I know the reason, but so I root for them. But
I used to love New York for being hardcore. Like New York used to be fucking hardcore. Like New Yorkers were the pride of New Yorkers, where they tell you to go fuck yourselves. They'd help out. Like if you really needed help, they'd help you. But the core of it was we're bad motherfuckers. We'll tell you to fuck off. And during the pandemic, they became the biggest group of collective cucks in the entire planet. They all started wearing the masks.
if I can make it here, I can make it anywhere.
If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And then during the pandemic, New Yorkers, these proud, angry motherfuckers, all just got neutered. Their nuts just got, and they all just said, we'll comply to this nonsense. And then they started shaming people, and then they started becoming politically correct. You know what I mean? So New York is the soul of New York. Is now the only people left with balls are the criminals, and that's not the soul of New York. New York, I'm disappointed in you. You guys got to get that shit back and stop being so goddamn compliant to the government. That's ridiculous. Philadelphia, they're out of control. We don't have to worry about them. every day I'm like, hey Patrick, here's another shooting in your neighborhood. Here's another carjacking.
He's like, yeah, it was next door.
Yeah, it was like 4 feet from me.
I saw the guy, and I said, what's up?
I heard the gunshots.
And
And
he's
it
like,
was
fuck this,
real
I gotta
quick.
go take care of something. He went and shot the fucking guy.
Dude, I stepped outside to get a coffee. I almost slipped on the blood. It was
It was bananas.
It's bananas. We got to get him back on now. Once we get back into boxing season, it's strangely enough not boxing season, but we have some fights coming up. So this weekend, what do we got?
All right, I'm gonna refer to my notes.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm excited for. Kid Austin fights on DAZN this weekend.
Nice.
Kid Austin worked his way into Golden Boy boxing. Well deserved after 11 and 0, and he's stepping up into a person who's an ex-champion who has a shitload of fights, but he's fighting Rodrigo Guerrero in an eight-round fight, at lightweight. And so Rodrigo Guerrero won if you look him up, he's got a couple wars. He had a title, I think like 6 years ago.
Big step.
So basically they paired him up against a seasoned champion that's a little bit over the hill. So the matchmakers have done their step up work. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's an 8-rounder. He's probably fourth on the card from the main event. And
Is that on the big DAZN card?
On the DAZN card.
Ortiz McKinnon.
Correct. Yeah. So I'm expecting. I've been watching Kid do work, on Instagram, and he looks faster. He's got a new team around him that's working speed. The power's been there in both hands. The power's ridiculous in both hands, but he's got the team now working on speed. He looks noticeably faster to me, like hand speed faster. That's not a good thing for who he's coming up against. This kid's, he's continuing to get better, continuing to work. I'm not ready to put him at the Shakur Stevenson level yet, but I'll tell you what, you don't want to be in the ring with him and on the way up.
Fights. This is a good. You match a guy like this to help him, according to what he needs, and this is a good like you said, over the hill guy. And you put him under your belt and you keep marching. This is good.
Keep marching. I wouldn't be pissed with him fighting Shakur. Don't get me wrong, but he'd have to fight a perfect fight to even
Well,
because
he'd have to fight him in 3 years too. He's not
Yeah,
ready for. He's not ready for it.
it's 2 to 3 years down the road exactly. Let them both, hone their thing. I mean, he's still so young. He's like 20 years old. He's a baby.
Right. He's a little baby.
But the power in that kid's hands for both hands. He's got Tank Davis power in those paws with a switch hitting base. I mean, if you can keep improving, that's going to be a problem for any division.
A lot of people.
I don't give a fuck what division you're in.
And
That's
he's
a
so
problem.
small. He's so small. He'll probably move up through a couple divisions.
Probably, but the thing about him
I mean,
too,
not
though,
not small. He's so young.
young, very young. But here's the thing: you and I know how this works. Oscar De La Hoya grabs these young superstars that are pretty, because De La Hoya knows what the marketability is.
Right.
And this team's put together a good team of, getting his image out. He's got the right image. What De La Hoya did with Ryan Garcia, it almost looks like his son. And Kid Austin's like he's one of those baby-faced assassins that we talk about. You know what I mean?
Like,
By the way, where's your back? Put on the back. Give yourself a background. Give yourself a. Yeah, one of your kids probably took that shit.
no,
off.
I'm trying to get the sound right.
No. Give yourself a background like the Golden State Bridge or some
Okay,
shit.
listen to me.
I don't need to see like some
Take a
little
fucking
girl's
pause.
room.
Take a pause.
Yeah.
This is my laptop. I can't fucking put a background on this thing.
Of course you can. It's Zoom. Just go up to a Zoom US at the top of your screen, and then go down to which one of your kids is around? They always do. Go to preferences, backgrounds, and add whatever. Where's your
None of
kid?
that.
Where's one of your smart kids?
Don't start this bullshit. I'll get it done.
Which one of your kids is around? Oh, you just muted yourself. I fucked up the whole podcast. You got to unmute yourself. Okay.
Better?
Okay,
Right.
better. All right. I'm not going to have you do this because otherwise you'll shut down the whole show.
Yeah, fuck that. So Ortiz is fighting McKinson.
Yep.
Quintessential boxer against a brawler. Okay, this guy, he's going to be dodging the bull the whole time. Okay, I don't think he lasts, but if anybody can last, it's with the back up. Fucking cut all that shit out.
I can't cut it out. So dodging a bull. Ortiz is dodging bulls.
Yeah, it's a fucking. This guy's 18-0 with 18 knockouts. He's a fucking killer.
So he's like Beterbiev. I think Beterbiev's the only one with perfect knockout record.
The other guy, McKinson, he's like 20-0, 22-0, 2 knockouts. So it's just he's just gonna have to fight a perfect fight before he gets caught with this guy.
What do you think's gonna happen, man?
I think he's gonna get knocked out. I think McKinson's gonna get knocked out.
What's your bet? Well, like if I were to bet 1 through 6, 6 through 12.
I think probably 7 through 10.
Okay, 7 through 10 is fair. And this is on August 6th. This is Saturday night.
I don't know McKinson's conditioning. You know what I mean? Is he known for conditioning?
Shit, I don't know.
Known for yeah. So I mean, I'm looking at numbers.
Well, here's what I do know with DAZN is they have 2 cards on that day. They have an England card early. So they have the Sheffield England card with Dalton Smith and O'Mason. The 12-round British junior welterweight title is in the morning for us. And then we have basically a full, and then we have an Irish card on ESPN Plus. So that'll be an early card. So that's with Michael Conlon and Miguel Marega at 12-round featherweight.
Wow.
With a couple. And then we have the DAZN card at night.
Is that
so Saturday is going to be
back up?
Yeah.
Is that soon for Conlon to be back? I remember he got knocked out of the ring and carried on a stretcher.
I mean, listen, how do you come back from something like that? And you got to come back angry. I mean, you can't
I
come
mean,
back
but I guess
feeble.
you
You
got
don't
to
want to
jump
get
right
knocked.
back.
Yeah, I was going to say, psychologically, the thing you have to do is get back on the saddle,
I mean,
right?
he fought an absolute war, and then just got at the end of the war, he got obliterated.
Yeah.
That was a rough fucking fight for him. Coming off that, that's gonna be a good test to see where he's at.
If you got to jump back in, but that's a big, if you're the main event too, you know what I mean? Like you're the actual main event for the fight after getting the shit kicked out of you. Basically, the lead up's going to be, well, you got bitch slapped last time you fought. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Every single.
How's he gonna transition from a brutal loss to
to win? I mean, you have to have a certain type of personality to get in the ring in the first place.
I give him
But to
all
come
the
back
credit.
from adversity like that and to be able to face it, good for you, man.
He
No
got
matter what
fucking-
happens in that fight, I'm rooting for him to come back and do well, because that's actually pretty badass. On any other fights that look interesting to you, or not so much?
No, I mean, I like that. There's a backstory to that. I didn't realize till you just said that Conlon was fighting. Like I said, the main event on DAZN, a puncher against a fucking dancer. You better dance. And
Yeah, I like to see the punchers win that. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about Better Beef is he just stands in front of you and knocks you out. I mean, there's no dancing there. There's no dancing at all. He pretty much just comes right at you, gloves up real well, clams up well, and then just stands in front of you. And there's no side to side magic. He's just you just better watch out for his paws.
He's a wrecking ball. He's a fucking torpedo.
Yeah. In UFC last week, there was just an awesome fucking card. Moreno came in and solidified his lightweight position, and the body shot that he landed to win that fight. The images. Let me see if I can find this. You'll love this shit. There's a great picture.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of body work in the UFC? I don't notice it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, without question. I mean, some of the nastiest the nastiest knockouts in the UFC are body shots.
Really?
This was a brutal liver shot. Let me see if I can show this to you. Okay, here we go. So he beat Kai Kara France, who's really fighting out of one of the best gyms in the entire UFC. And the way he beat him, because this is actually funny, because Theo and I were discussing this fight. I had Brandon Moreno, he had Kai, and I thought because he had Kai, I was like, fuck, I fucked up, because he knows more about the sport than I do. I was like, I think Moreno's going to finish him. And for once, I was actually pleasantly surprised that I was actually right. But either one, it was not a skill pick. So we're actually going to have Theo come on and start to do a pick of the week, because his picks are phenomenal. This was not an indication of him not getting it right. Usually I think he's probably, I'm batting about 80%. He's batting about 80%, which is ridiculous. But I feel like his is better than mine, because he actually knows, the intricacies of the ground and pound. Some of my stuff's a little luck. You know what I mean?
You gave me like 10 picks one weekend, and I picked 2 of them, and those were the 2 that lost.
Oh, awesome! That's fantastic.
So I think I'm the problem, not you.
Here, so let's check. Here's the liver shot. So that was it. And that was it. But the image. So the image of the liver shot was that. So they'll show it again. The image of the liver shot afterwards. I'll send it to you after, because it's tough to find live. But you can actually see the everything in that rib liver area is just lit up like a Christmas tree. It's not fun. This weekend so anytime they do a UFC pay-per-view, which is last week, the women put on a fucking show last week. Pano and it was a great show. But it's women fighting, and they just beat the shit out of each other. It was a great fight. But the real fight will be next time when you have Valentina Shevchenko fighting Pana. That'll be the one that's the big heavy. It'll be the third fight trilogy. I always fuck up everybody's name, so forgive me. So let's move on to some fun stuff. How was your week? What did you do all week? Anything fun?
Babysat.
Who?
I got some Choco Tacos.
What's that?
Now they're discontinuing Choco Tacos, so we had to just. That's where I got back from searching out the last of the Choco Tacos. I don't know if Choco Taco's racist, but I don't know why they're being discontinued. You don't know what a Choco Taco is?
No, I've never heard of it. Really? It's got a nice ring to it. Yeah, no, never heard of it.
It's an ice cream taco.
Oh shit. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why would that be discontinued?
I don't know.
So you've been walking around trying to find these ice cream tacos?
No, we went to a place we knew they were and stacked up on them. So
like grocery store?
Yeah, I forgot how bad they were.
Yeah, I would imagine they. So have you ever made homemade ice cream?
No.
Oh, you'll never eat regular ice cream again. It's so easy to do, and it's night and day better. My daughter is just recovering from this over the last year, but I was making homemade ice cream, and it's so good that she wouldn't touch Briars. She'd try it and be like basically spit it out like it was just piss. Like, this is just disgusting. My father's ice cream, it's not difficult. It's just cream, milk, sugar, egg yolks, vanilla, like basic ingredients, but you swirl it together. And my God, it's so much better. So let's talk about things that you hate, Jimmy. I didn't put together the actual audio for this. I'll build a theme song for it eventually. Things that you hate, pet peeves and things that you hate. This is going to be our new game show as we move forward.
Is that two different things? I don't see a pet peeve as
let's go. You're right. Things that you hate, people that you hate that you don't know, people that you despise, that you know that you would want to punch in the face if you met them, even though you don't know them. Maybe not violence. We don't have to bring violence into it.
I'm being 100% honest when I say that's how I felt about you until I got to know you.
Oh, well, that's a sweet thing to say. You thought I was that bad?
I just thought you were a fucking jerk off.
That's fair enough. But anybody that you would be publicly known.
Who do I hate?
I'll tell you. You want me to start? I can start because I actually gave you this lead up.
You told me, but you told me pet peeves. I didn't go.
Well, then start with pet peeves. Whatever you actually get, because I didn't want you to sit here like a fucking driveling retard on the goddamn podcast with no answer, like shuffling around
you're a fucking bad moderator.
Like you were Michael J. Fox with a worse case of.
You're a fucking bad. All right. What do I hate? I hate fucking me monsters. And
wait, what is it?
A me monster. Someone who every fucking story you tell them, they have a version of that story, but it happened to them. Okay?
Oh, like somebody who's like, oh, let me tell you my
somebody
my iteration.
Always had, and I find myself doing this, and it makes me disgusted with myself.
Well, I did it to you earlier, but then brought it back. I was like, people have actually told me stories about myself that weren't true, but it has to be worse for you, is what I said. So I kind of started to go down that path, but I guess the douchier way of doing it is, well, let me tell you about me. You know what I mean? I guess it's just the narcissistic. Yeah, the narcissism. anybody that brings everything back to themselves, I guess, would be the greater umbrella to cover that.
On here, like if you do it, it's different because that's what we're on here for, to tell fucking stories. But just everything that has, when somebody has to bring it back to them, it drives me fucking nuts.
There's a bunch of people that, so it happens in all walks of life, Jimmy. I mean, I've had people, even watching, what's happening in the economy right now. I'm like, man, the economy's bad. And you'll have these people that are like super narcissists. They'll be like, well, I can still go get a Slurpee. And you're like, what about the 150 million people that are facing starvation? Well, you know what? As they say, inflation only has to bother people that are buying things. I'm older. I don't need to buy clothes, or I don't need to buy that much stuff. I'm fine. I'm like, what about the world? You still have to buy food. Like, what about everybody else? Like,
you could micro that into saying, you hate people that don't give a shit about the next people that are using it.
Well, especially these are the people that especially stand on soapboxes and lecture others about how much they care about other people.
Yeah.
And then when you drill down into what they really care about, it turns out they just care about themselves. And the reason that they love standing on the soapboxes is so that you don't know that they just care about themselves. They don't actually care about all the poor people. They don't care about black people at all. They don't care about Asians. They don't care about poor white people. They don't care about anybody but themselves. And they love to stand on that soapbox and talk about all these great ideas and all this utopian shit and all these, you shouldn't say this and you shouldn't change the name of Redskins. Redskins are offending the Indians. They're offending people. No, they aren't. 85. You're speaking for people that aren't offended. You're literally soapboxing because you're a despicable sack of shit deep down in your heart. You are a worthless pile of dog shit in your heart of hearts. And you wouldn't even step outside of your house to help a hamster or a wounded cat or a baby in a ditch if it were there, unless you could post about it on Instagram, because that's right. The type of motherfucker you are.
That's right.
And those are the people that will do the grandstanding, about women's rights, trans rights, the rights of people to put things in people's asses. I want to be rights of this. Nipple rights, rights. Shut your face. You don't do a goddamn thing. I want to protect the environment. I love those people. If you ever meet an environmentalist, ask them how many trees they've planted in the last year.
Oh, they don't.
You'll see a look on their face like when you ask me, what somebody's name is. It's like,
fuck you. I haven't done that. I haven't done that today.
You haven't, but if you do ask me a name, I'll be like, I don't fucking know. Same fucking shit, dude. They don't know shit.
Here's a funny one that pisses me off. Okay?
All right, give me some more pit. Let's rant. Let's get in.
These fucking guys in the gym, all right?
Okay.
That they're weightlifters.
Absolute sauce ball by y'all.
All right. I don't care about their attitude. I don't care, that they're fucking toxic masculinity, none of that. The guys that will pick up like 50-pound barbells in each hand and then stand on a Bosu ball and then fucking put a chain around their neck so they can do like 4 different exercises at once while balancing on a Bosu ball. What the fuck are they doing?
So people's gym but
I forgot you don't go to a gym, so you don't see this shit.
Well, I used to, but I gave it up. I went for here's the reason I gave it up. I've got a gym right here in the house. The reason I gave it up is I went every day for like 8 years. And I was fairly strong, but I saw no real difference in my physique. Definitely saw no difference in how I viewed myself. Like whether I'm fat, thin, or in shape or not, I view myself the exact same. You know what I mean? And I didn't feel any different. And I just was like, what am I doing? Like, actually, the thing that fucked me is I would do 45 minutes cardio, 45 minutes of weights. Two things fucked me. I got Graves' disease. So I got disease from drinking Pepsi products. So I was getting weaker every time I went to the gym. I was losing weight. You know, went from like 250 to like 211. And I couldn't even do a push-up, and I was in the gym every day. I was used to, putting up, 225 11 times, not a lot, but 11 times, something like that.
Yeah.
And couldn't do a push-up, and so that was disheartening. I guess that's the opposite of being on steroids. When you're on steroids, I think, every time you're getting stronger. Every time I was going in, I was getting weaker. But I was getting skinnier and looking more unhealthy. I was actually close to death. And then the other thing is when a girl jumped on me, this is after I just recovered from that. A girl jumped on me and tore my knee. So I couldn't get on, any treadmills or anything anymore. I basically couldn't walk. I was in a, bad shape like that. So I just started getting heavier, and I'd just go lift. And I started getting a little stronger, but fatter and bigger. And by the time it was done, I was like, you know what? I could go back in the gym and just work every day to look probably 80% of what I looked before and put in all this work. Or I could just spend an hour a day just doing basic shit and just look like a mediocre, chubby ex-athlete. And at the end of the day, you're married, you have kids. If you ever see me getting jacked, my marriage is in trouble. I'm ready to go out and start hunting pussy. You ever see me and you're like, Jesus beans, you look great.
You look that way
I'm
now.
fighting
What
with
are you talking about?
at that point, and every girl knows this too. That shit's bad at the house, because at that point, I like to look a little bit unfortunate, because it keeps my marriage proper. Because if I have I've got a lot of mouth stuff going on. If I know a lot of people, I've got a lot of stuff. If I start looking pretty, I'm a problem out there on the street. I can just start grabbing bitches off the street.
Eric's a problem.
I can just start getting into all sorts of stuff. I don't want that. I don't need that type of drama in my household. I gotta keep my marriage proper. So I gotta stay mediocre looking and unfortunate looking for the holistic good of the marriage. I just gotta stay good enough to be in healthy shape for the kids and ugly enough not to be too attractive. That's my current goal. So what's your excuse?
Fucking nothing. I'm it's all maintenance. You gotta, I brought this up before. When I sprawled out on the middle of a 4-lane highway and cars came to a screeching halt because I tried to beat the traffic and I fell flat on my face, along with my four of my kids over on the side laughing and calling me a faggot.
Great word, by the way. Not in a gay way. It's just a perfect word. I want to take, we've taken that for the people that are just listening. We've taken that word back from the gay way and applied it perfectly in a way that it should be applied, which is basically, shitting on your friend.
It's in love.
It's got a staccato to it. You fucking faggot. Like bam, bam, bam. It's like ta ta ta. You can't take that away. That's too cool to be gay, actually.
No, you're
gay is supposed to be gay.
Faggot has nothing to do with being gay.
Nothing. That's my point. It's like just a cool, it's like cunt. It just has that cut through, it's got that, it's got that beautiful pop to it.
There's a few words like that. I like twat.
Twat's a great word. Great cut to it. You know, great. I almost put twat in the Redskins song earlier today. Almost put it in. Great fucking word. I had cuck originally. You know, cuck is a great word. You call a guy a cuck. Great fucking word. Sometimes they might not even know what it means, which means their wife's probably getting banged out and they jerk off to it. You know, they might not even know.
So anyway, when I went down and all that happened, I
You
got
went
up.
down on who?
When I went down in the middle of the street, I was telling a fucking story until you made it about you.
Oh, it's all about. Well, let me tell you about when I went
It's all
down.
fucking about you.
Let me
You
tell
ever
you about
fall
the time that I fell down.
Yeah, tell us about the time you fell down when you were 8 years old, you big fucking me monster.
I go ahead. You fell down in the middle of the story.
I fucking fell down, not in the middle of the story, in the middle of the street. I
Yeah.
was almost killed. And my kids thought it was hilarious. I got up covered in blood. Each one of my limbs was covered in blood.
Yeah, you were fucked up.
I
That's
fucked
true.
up, and I just said, I think it may be over. It's all maintenance from here out.
I think that should have been your sign that it's time to get back in and fight again. You know,
Do you think that might have been a sign from Mike Sawyer that it's time to get back in the ring with him?
well, I wasn't kidding. So when we were fighting about the whole, you know, we were fighting about the knockout, and I was talking all sorts of shit. There's one regret I have from that night, and that's where I started telling the truth later on. So the first part I was, you know, bullshitting about the ref and all that other stuff. The second half of it, when I said that you and Mike Sawyer should dress in high heels and come out as trans boxers in the ring, legendary friends, mic it up, turn it into an event, and actually like come out in full lipstick and makeup as and borrow each other's cups, like make it a fucking, and then go a fight as friends.
I would
As a professional fight.
be down with that. I would be down with that 100%.
I think that would be literally blow everyone's
Then
mind.
fucking
Like,
put it together, Beans. Quit talking about it.
well, what resource? You're the one who has resources to put together events. Is
I'm
your
the
dad?
talent. I'm the talent.
Your dad's. I guess yeah. Your dad's out of that. But who did he use?
I mean, he used
Well,
everybody.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean. Like, who did he use to put together the events?
Brian Bishop,
All right,
the
well,
Brockman Winter Free.
let's talk about that offline. That'd be funny as fuck. Let's put
That
together
would.
let's put together like a real undercard and a clown show on the main card.
Couple of midgets.
Gotta have some midgets, man.
Yeah.
Midgets are the
Yeah.
best. So did you see the Will Smith apology?
I heard it. I did not see it. I heard it on the radio.
Yeah, so it
That's
took
not
him.
what I heard though. I heard he wasn't ready yet.
No, he apologized. It was heartfelt, but he's an actor, right? So he cried. You know,
But
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock wouldn't take his call first.
Why
And
would
then-
he? Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
People who said that was fake, again, go fuck yourself.
Did he do
You know,
did he do it on,
it's
as a
so
tweet?
fake. It's not fake. It was never fake. Nothing about that was fake. And
Did
if
he-
you
did
had
he do
any,
it? Did
Huh?
he do it? Did he call Chris Rock or did he? do
he
it as
sent him a
tweet?
handwritten note earlier, and then this was like a long, heartfelt thing. And here's what I would say. So Will Smith, I have the solution to all your problems, and this is true. So you and Chris Rock may not be friends ever again, but I'll tell you how you can solve this for your career and for your friendship with Chris Rock's brother. And he also reached out to Chris Rock's mother. So he actually apologized to her mother. Easiest fix in the world. And none of the people close to Will Smith are telling him this advice, which baffles me. He should go on and say, look, you know, I'm sorry for what happened. There's no way an apology is going to do it. So I'm going to invite you on an event to slap me in the fucking face in public. And I want your mother in the front row, and I want your brother in the front row. And I want you to wind up and hit me as hard as you can, because no apology will ever do what that slap will do. And that will make us even, hopefully. and we can move forward as friends. Slap me right in the fucking face. And if anybody wants to pick it up and sponsor it, we'll split the pros. You have all the proceeds. You take every fucking penny from every advertiser. I don't give a shit. This isn't a publicity stunt. You just come slap me in the fucking face on camera, and let's call it quits. He would be the biggest fucking star. Chris Rock would be the biggest star. The mother being there, even if they didn't come through with it, it would just be such a fucking baller move to do that. Just slap me in the fucking face. Let's call it even. Let's move forward as brothers.
Right.
Boom. Over. And nobody's telling him to do that. I mean, how do you not?
That is the easiest fix. If
Violence
Chris
is
Rock,
a solution.
Chris Rock says no, he looks kind of like the dude.
Correct.
You know?
And again, this almost puts Chris Rock in a situation where he's got to show up to slap him in the face.
Right.
And then he might be the bigger man and choose not to slap him in the face.
Right. This has a lot
And
of
either
drama.
way, it's a win and a win. And both of them come part as friends. But the fact that he'll put his fucking face out and be like, just go ahead and fucking go ahead. Go pick whichever side. I don't care.
Everybody had that friend in high school. Come on, you want to hit me in the face? You know what I mean? That's how we would fucking make up for shit when he fucked up.
Yeah, I've never fucked up that bad or said that actually. I've never been like hit me in the face. But this is a situation where a slap, like, listen, this was a public slap. The only way to overcome a public slap is a second more public slap that's planned, publicized, marketed, and then your mother and your brother's there in the front seat. And Will Smith's face, and Jada's sitting there with her stupid, bald alopecia, with her bald ass. By the way, everybody was, but she's got alopecia. Dude, every guy in the world has alopecia. If you want to be like equal, stop talking about alopecia like it's a disease. It's called what every dude goes through. Joe Biden's got alopecia. You see that motherfucker's hair a few years ago? Alopecia. Who's gonna alopecia? Shut up with your alopecia. Put that bald bitch in the front seat and let her man get slapped right in the fucking face by Chris Rock. Square it up, call it even, and let both of them go out and be stars and do what they do.
That would be legendary, man. That would be beautiful. They don't have the balls. They don't have the balls. And it doesn't even take balls. It's easy.
And you know what? Chris Rock should get a chance to slap Jada in the face after he slaps her. Double slap.
That's pushing it.
Will Smith should say, slap me. And then, in addition, you get to slap my bald ass wife in the face. Fuck that bitch. Take her ass down for the good of the relationship.
Right.
Not because I want her to be slapped, but
I wouldn't mind smacking his face too.
Yeah, so that is how you do conflict resolution in 2022. That's how you do conflict resolution.
I wish.
People say violence doesn't cure problems. They've never used violence before because it cures lots of problems, and I can personally attest to that, and I'm sure you can too. I've had lots of conflicts resolved through overwhelming violence. It works real well. So let's move to Brittany Griner is in prison over in Russia. She's a WNBA star who did not like the United States of America, went over there, smoked out of a vape, got thrown in Russian prison, and now is not happy. She hates the United States, but at this point, I wish somebody would interview her and say, so you're in Russian prison. You hated the United States. Do you still hate the United States, or do you hate us more or less because you're in the Russian prison? Do you like the Russians? Do you dislike the United States? Do you hate everybody? Do you hate yourself? What's the actual answer here? Brittany Griner.
That's a funny look at it. But no, I mean, she's an American, whether she likes it or not. And we should do what it takes to get her back.
Well, really? Okay. So
No?
Brittany, well, no. So it's not about her political stance from it. The United States of America has millions of people locked up for weed right now in the United States of America. So the Russians have one person locked up for weed in Russia. If we're going to say locking people for weed is fucked up, it might be a good opportunity for us to say, hey, let's let out all the people that are in jail right now for trafficking weed out of prison, and then say putting people in jail for weed is wrong. And then we can sit on our soapbox and say, hey, Russia, you need to let her out of Russia, out of prison for smoking weed.
So you're saying we should get our ducks in a row?
We should probably not be hypocrites. You know, it's time to sort of settle the appropriate moral score. What the right lesson for the United States here is it's wrong to put people in prison for weed. You know, we've kind of taken this Russia versus the United States take, but reality is we got a lot of people rotting in jail for drugs right now that shouldn't be there. Maybe we should clean up our own backyard before we start offering arms traders that kill lots of people. By the way, arms trade.
Yeah,
arms traders. The United States is dealing arms professionally as a living. Like with that arms trader we have in jail. What was he, competition? Like literally every day is like, we just sold 52 billion of arms to Afghanistan, to Pakistan, to Saudi Arabia. You know, really, that dude shouldn't be in jail. Nobody should be. Like, stop putting people in jail for dumb shit. If you're trying if you're trying to kill somebody, rape somebody, put them in jail.
They're nothing if they're not hypocrites.
Oh my God, it's just, and all the news go, she should be out of jail, and all these people going, Trump would have her out of jail. How about just letting the people out of jail here that are in there for weed, for nonviolent crimes, for weed? You know, let them go get jobs and contribute to the society here in the United States of America. That's my take. But one of my favorite hypocrites is the DC mayor. This is your area. This is in your area. So the DC mayor is now called in. She's that's my favorite mayor of DC.
Fuck yeah.
Was Mayor Marion Barry. The current DC mayor is called in the National Guard because her city's under assault from illegal immigration. You know this story, right? You've seen this, right?
Tell me.
You know, this is true. So after all the inclusion, diversity is our strength. Everybody needs to come in. All of a sudden, Abbott from Texas started sending the illegal immigrants that have been jettisoned all over the country by our federal government up to Washington, D.C. Both the D.C. mayor and the New York City mayor have both said, this is an emergency. We're under attack. We need, and the DC mayor requested federal assistance to deal with the assault of illegal immigration in the DC area. It's fucking amazing. It's basically, so after all these years,
all right, Texas, cut the bullshit. This ain't funny.
After all these years of saying that anybody who's anti-immigration is completely racist, they have stamped the racist flag by saying, let's bring in the power of the federal government to stamp out this illegal immigration.
Wow.
And done it just by a guy sending busloads from his state.
This shit. You can't write
it. And when the White House press secretary Sebio was asked about it, she goes, well, it's a different process. The United States government, we process them and send them. They're like, well, what's the difference between sending them all over the country? Well, the difference is that we process them.
Yep,
what she said.
Then they leave.
And they're giving them social security numbers. So they found out they're giving millions of illegals social security numbers to be able to vote. Shocking. There's a political objective. Yeah. Shocking. There's a political objective. This is all conspiracy theory. None of this is proven. It's all fake news. They are not giving social security numbers, even though there's maybe 9-digit numbers that are just arbitrarily handed out to people. Might be your
Well, hey, I played the lottery the other night. Was that a 9-digit number?
It was. Now, what would you have done if you had won $1.1 billion? What would you have done with it?
Fucking put it all in the bank.
Dude, shut up.
No.
Yeah, it's only covered for 250 grand, dude. Like FDIC, they would have just stolen that shit from you.
I might just fuck around and try to buy a piece of a team somewhere.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, kind of for my kids because they love that shit. They love being up in,
Just get them a box, dude. Get them a fucking box. Like 300 million. You can't. You actually, if you try to buy a team, you get a pretty good anal proctology for a background check. They check everything about
what are they
you.
gonna look at?
Your
Snyder got
shady
one.
father and all of his clam stealing and Jimmy James Dean killing past. No, I'm dead serious. They actually do a real thorough check. It's not just like every rich person can just go buy. You could probably go buy a minor league team or something, but that's not fun. It's not fun.
It's fun.
I mean, it's not as the panache isn't there. The actual
Well, maybe you just attend the events in a plush style.
So I had an idea. I was gonna build a compound for people I loved, like a fucking full compound, complete with white Mexicans. So it would be people that would tend to our farm, but they can't be Mexicans. Usually those be Latinos. So there'd be white people that I would give Latino names to. So that way it wouldn't be racist at all. So his name might be Mike Smith. I'd be like, you're now Carlos Diaz.
That's fucking racist.
No, it isn't.
Absolutely it is.
It's not racist. It's
It's
anti-racist.
Listen,
You have white workers that you're actually renaming in a beautiful way for the opposite of racism.
no, that's racist. What's not racist is have actual Mexicans and give them white names.
Okay, so Carlos Diaz would be named Mike Smith.
Right.
Okay, I mean, I'd mix it up. That way, I'd have half. That way,
He
nobody would be able to.
identifies
The
as
group
Tom
that
Smith.
thinks that the Carlos Smiths or the Carlos Diaz's were racist couldn't say shit because there'd be a Mike Smith who was originally a Carlos Diaz. I'd just have him swap names. I'd pay him double. That way nobody could say a fucking thing to me. And I'd have a whole compound for everybody. I'd just be like, everybody come down, stay for free. Don't care how long you stay. You're not going to be evicted. Just stay there. And if shit pops off, make sure you shoot at least one person.
Just all
That
your,
would be your.
all your friends, all your acquaintances.
Yeah, no, everybody I actually love. Yeah, like family, friends. Just build a big compound. Build like 50 houses.
I'd
you
be
know,
there. I'd be there the next day.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! You'd be on the list. You'd be, of course, without question. I'd need like 7 houses for you and your fucking kids.
That was awkward. That was awkward.
Yeah, you'd be on. You'd be on. You kind of.
You'd be on it.
You'd be on. I allow you on the list. You'd be on. I'll let you have your own water stream. Actually, you guys would be on the very first house. I put your whole family right on the first line of defense. In case people came up, I'd be like, you got to get through the Langs.
Don't
Before
worry.
you get to me, you got to
Don't
get through the
worry.
Langs.
We'd infiltrate the whole compound.
I know that would be my concern. I'd have to build a separate fence between. I was trying to work that out. I'm like, logistically, I got to figure out how to.
You could have a whites only.
Permeate.
You could have a whites only bathroom where only the Langs could
I was
go.
like, shit, my compound of 50 is going to turn into 350 and like 300 Langs. Like, dude, how do I account for all these 300 grandchildren Langs running
Man, that
around?
motherfucker ain't his cousin.
Well, that's the problem is most of these people wouldn't be related to you, so you might not be attracted to them originally. You'd have to be walled off where there's nothing left to breed with. Shit. But yeah, it's fun.
That's
thought.
the stipulation. I gotta get clipped if I go in there.
Somebody in Illinois did win that, and actually the IRS won. The person in Illinois won like 430 million.
Yep.
The actual lottery was like 1.1 billion roughly.
Yeah.
And so the rest went to the U.S. government. So the U.S. government won like 65% of the winnings, right? And shocking that the winner actually went to the state of Illinois, which happens to be a very blue state. Let's call that a coincidence. I mean, I'm not saying that there's a coincidence. I'm just saying, it's shocking. Went to a state like that. I hope they moved to Florida immediately. Well, after watching have you seen the McDonald's special?
McDonald's what?
So yeah, so you remember the Boardwalk Park Place?
Yeah.
So have you seen the documentary on that?
No.
All of them were rigged for years.
They twisted it?
Yes, it's a great documentary.
Oh no.
So notice it's disappeared, right? You haven't seen it recently. So for like 10 years, every single one was twisted. They got a hold of the little, the special Boardwalk Park Place pieces. Yeah. He would give it out to friends, and the guy was responsible for it, would hand it out to random strangers, and it just became like a controlled network of winners for many years that the FBI. It's actually a fantastic documentary. But that this shit, anytime money, numbers, you and I both know how this shit works, dude. There's no accidents in this world of money.
There's always a payoff.
There's a payoff, baby. There's a payoff. So I think we should probably wrap it up here. I have so much more to talk about, but let's wrap it up here. You go spend time with your family. I had a blast, man. This is a fun episode. I hope you had a good time. I hope you learned a lot about the original Redskins fight song. That was also for you, because I knew you'd get a kick out of.
I appreciate it.
I love you, brother. Have a great night. Send my best to your family and all the love in the world. And have a great night, brother.
All right, baby. Take care.
All right, bye.